Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, baby. Good morning to everyone else and listeners. Baby, why don't you say it?
What?
It's the intro. Say it. Try it. Try it out for size.
No, don't put me on the spot
Yeah,
like
come
that.
on,
I
do
didn't
it.
even practice.
You don't need to practice.
I
You've
don't
done
like
this.
it like that.
Yeah, you know what you're
Welcome. I don't know. Do you see? I don't know. I don't know the words.
You started off
this
perfectly.
is English. I need to rehearse.
You can do it. Come on.
No, stop
Come
it.
on.
Stop it.
Come on.
I'm
Ready?
shy.
Do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Love Movement podcast.
I love
Try
it.
it. Try it.
No, stop it.
Aye.
This is your host, Stevie B and Betty B.
What's shaking, bacon?
Hello there, you sexy you.
What's up, girl? How you doing? Looking like a
Hey.
treat. Looking like a snack.
Hey.
How you
What's
doing,
happening?
baby? Not much. What's happening? What's up?
What's the chismecito today?
You were already getting the chismecito?
I want to know your chismecito.
Well, I mean, there's a few things. You're really going in straight, hard, no Vaseline.
I love chisme. I need to talk.
You wanna talk?
I need to talk, so
Okay,
that's why
how
I
about
need
this?
the chisme.
New York City's got a new mayor.
Nice.
Eric
You know,
Adams.
I don't like politics. Just tell me one thing. Is he a communist?
No.
Then I like him. Bye-bye. That's all I need to know.
Well, I mean, the outgoing mayor, Bill de Blasio, whose real name is like Warren Wilhelm III or something like that.
Excuse me?
Yeah, the guy
Did
changed
he
his
change
name.
his name?
Yeah.
When he was 18?
I have a feeling it was to do with politics because Bill de Blasio sounds more like someone you could
Italian.
have a beer with.
It's Italian. That sounds
Yeah.
Italian. He knew what he was doing. Is
Yeah,
he
yeah.
Italian?
No. When you hear the guy talk, he's like, hey, as we say here in New York City, forget about it. You know, like
Okay, excuse me. Was he a communist?
he was pretty far left.
Left?
But he was far left.
Nothing to do with left. We always go right. Right is the way.
Yeah, well, I don't know if number one, I certainly don't agree with that. And number two, not everybody on the left is a communist.
They're all communist.
Okay.
You go left, you lost it. You lost cost.
But you see, this is what we were talking about last week. We can be very different about things and still have a loving relationship.
I just love your reaction to the things I say.
I know.
I really, really love it.
Well,
I love your
you
your
love to
face.
anytime we talk about politics, you just call me a communist.
I know, and your reaction is priceless.
I know.
You're like,
Because sometimes I'm trying to make a point and be serious, and then you say that, like, obviously you're not really calling me a communist. I understand that, but
I
then
would
it's
have
like,
not married a communist.
of course.
Okay?
But then that derails the whole conversation I was trying to have.
Because it makes you think twice of what you're going to say next. And I like that. I like when you think.
Oh my God.
I'm so funny.
I
love
always
it. I
think.
crack myself up.
Anyway,
What can I tell you?
this new guy, Eric Adams, a black man, former police officer, still a Democrat, but he's much more.
Didn't you say he was not a communist?
See,
What?
Here we go again.
Democrat, communist. Same line, same sentence.
Oh, you're going to get some heated
That's it.
comments from some people online.
From who?
From some people online.
Really? Why? Everybody knows that.
Everybody-
You're a Democrat, you're a communist. You're going far.
Case in point,
You're going
right
left. This is it. This is it. The next thing you know, we're singing abajo. Pioneros por el comunismo, seremos como el Che. Venceremos.
And what does that translate for
It
the
was
gringos
a bunch
in
of
the
slogans
audience?
that we were forced to say.
Yeah. Anyway,
We're starting with the vaccine. What's happening with New York and the vaccine?
waiting with bated breath to see what he does, because it's only been since January 1st. So at
But-
the time we're recording this, he hasn't made any announcements yet, as far as I'm aware.
No, but before him,
De Blasio was mandating the vaccine for everybody.
But that's
and it
what
was-
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was I think New York has been doing a great job when it comes to checking the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
They do actually ask for the vaccine card. They ask to keep your mask on. I think they're very controlled when it comes to that. They're doing a good job. They're very organized. We have gone to the city a couple of times, and every time we want to eat, because now it's very cold and we have to do indoor seating, they always ask for the vaccine. It hasn't been once that they don't check the card ID, everything. You don't see that here in New Jersey.
No.
no one checks vaccine.
But there's a lot of people that are rubbed the wrong way by that.
I know. I understand.
Because
Yeah,
what if
true.
you're somebody who works at the restaurant? Now you're mandated to have the vaccine to go to work.
That's true.
And
I don't like anything. I don't like anything that is mandatory.
Well, that's the thing. This is me saying this. Someone who I think the vaccine. I took my shots.
Me too.
I think it's a good idea. You know, it's not
that's
gonna stop you from getting it, but it's gonna help keep you from dying.
And
that's me saying that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is the way you feel. That's the way you think. And I understand there's a lot of people that think like us. Like, let's do the vaccine. We're trying our best to do the best thing.
Yeah, it's not a perfect solution, but it's what we got right now.
That's what we think is the best thing, and we're doing it. There's a lot of people that feel different about it. And as long as we can respect that, I think it's fair. That's why I don't like anything that is mandatory. I understand that you feel some type of way about it. I have to respect that. I'm not going to look down on you because of that. We just have to respect each other's point of view. I come from a country that everything was imposed to us, that we didn't have a choice. So that's why I feel very respectful of all this that is going on. I don't like anything that is imposed, mandatory. We should decide what we want.
It would just be nice if everybody was coming into the situation, though, within the same reality, because now everything's so segmented on political lines, where people literally live in different realities. They're operating with different facts and different information.
And the thing is that when you try to
Sorry for the listeners right now. I'm going to make a little noise in the microphone. I'm going to open my beverage.
Your seltzer. You're so fancy.
Thank
Bubbly
you.
water. Okay. What I think is when you try to impose something on people, when you try to make it mandatory, people tend to reject it.
Yeah, people don't want to be told what to do.
Now I don't want it. Now I don't want it. Now why are you making such a hard...
why are you pushing so hard?
Yeah, why are you doing this?
Yeah, what's in this? What do you have to hide?
Exactly. There's something in there. I'm pretty sure you're doing it for a reason. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And then... this is what creates.
Exactly.
I think if they wouldn't push so hard on it, maybe everybody was vaccinated by this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, it was made...
that we don't know.
It was made to be a political issue, and then now
It
automatically just cut off half the country.
It just shouldn't be. It's the vaccine. Why are we making this all about politics? It's crazy.
You should ask the politicians.
I know. They're crazy people. They're crazy people. What
people
can I
are crazy. But I am interested to see how Eric Adams is. Obviously, we don't live in New York City, but we do spend.
Do you like the
time
guy?
there.
Do you know the guy?
I know a little bit about him.
I don't know anything about him.
He's a little more like one of those like tough on crime Democrats, where he's not.
Well, he was a policeman.
Of course, he's an ex-cop. So I definitely think that going into there's been a lot of issues with police reform and stuff going on within the last couple of years. So it definitely helps to have someone who understands a little more from both sides the
I
issues.
would think so, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of places that after the George Floyd thing, like they took these drastic measures to try to counteract the problem with police, and they end up making the situation worse. Then you have police who, some places like Minneapolis, they took away most of the funding for the police force, or tried to. Some places wanted to abolish police entirely, and now you have a major crime wave. And there's a lot of people, like regular citizens, that are like, no, that's not what we wanted. We just don't want to get killed by cops. Like, you guys are going way overboard.
Yeah.
So
it's extreme.
Yeah,
and
like
the people are just.
It's one of those things where it's like there has to be a happy medium. Like obviously there has to be like real accountability for officers and people who abuse their power. But you also don't want no police. Like all of a sudden, magically, there's not going to be any crime.
We need them, and I think they're good guys out there.
Well,
good
we need
policemen.
But we need them to do their job properly.
But that's what I'm saying. I do believe there's a lot of good policemen out there.
100%. I know quite a few of them.
Yes, we have friends.
But that doesn't excuse when they cover for bad cops.
Definitely.
That's my problem. Like, you could be the best cop in the world, but if you're going to cover for someone who's doing the wrong thing, then you're just as accountable.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we cannot lose faith because there's a lot of people that are doing the right thing out there.
That's true.
They're risking their life. They're protecting us. And we just put them all in this big pile when they're not all the same. There are a lot of good, ethical policemen out there doing the right thing. And I think we should respect that and actually be aware and take it case by case.
I agree.
They're not all the same.
But that's the problem with humans. We don't take things case by case. We always paint with a broad brush. No, a lot of times it's easier
You're
just to say...
You're losing faith in humanity.
I'm not losing faith. I'm just saying this is what historically has always happened. Where, if one person, part of a group, does something now, that whole group is poisoned in your eyes. You know what I mean?
That's why we have to be better. That's why we have to think outside the box. That's why we have to actually try to make an effort not to judge everybody.
So then you're going to stop calling all Democrats communists?
Maybe. I'm just kidding. I'm playing with that.
I'm not even a Democrat. I don't know why
I don't know why you're always defending Democrats.
I don't know. Because I am a left-leaning person, but I'm not a Democrat.
Communist. Stop saying that. Every time you say left, I have to say communist.
Broad brush.
Communist. Judging.
Ay.
I'm just kidding. I have to be respectful, and I am respectful. I respect all views, but I have a strong feeling about communists.
Somewhat based in real-life trauma.
Because, exactly. It's not just because what I hear or because what I read. It's because what I went through.
What you lived.
I lived through that. I was born there. I was raised there. It's not like I just... think of this idea and
you just heard
I'm
some
a living
jerk off
proof.
on Fox News calling everybody a commie.
Yeah, it's actually trauma.
Yeah,
I should have a therapist work on me.
But I think it's important for people to understand too, like the deeper issues and the history of things, because then you realize, where those accusations come from, and sometimes you have a better understanding of what they're targeted at. You know what I mean?
What I think? But there's a thing with that. There's a lot of people that say things that they believe, but they have zero knowledge about it.
They don't understand the context and the history.
They don't know what they're saying. They're just repeating what they heard. They have zero experience in the topic, and they just can come at me and make comments that they don't even know what they're saying. No, but I had a client tell me that...
I think I remember
we
you telling me about
have
this.
free healthcare. We have free education
in
for
Cuba.
all.
She was saying
In Cuba, yeah, he was saying
he
was saying you have such a nice. Oh, you're from Cuba? Yes. You were raised there? Yes. Oh my God, that's awesome. You guys have free healthcare. You guys have free education. Yeah, you have your problems, but you have all these good things that you guys don't value, that don't appreciate. Oh my God, that just went up. I went from 0 to 100, and I was at work, so I had to contain myself. But how can you just repeat that?
Well, it's easy to repeat it.
Not knowing what it is. I feel like I don't know why people repeat the wrong thing so much. And when you give them facts, they don't repeat that as much. You know what I mean?
Well, number one, it's easy just to hear a couple sound bites and say, oh, okay, now I know something about it. And then you start talking. But then when you talk to somebody who really knows about it, all of a sudden your whole house of cards just comes down.
When I explained to him that we don't even have pencils, that we had nothing, that our schools were falling apart, that there was sometimes the buildings were not safe for us to be in there. His face was like so confused. And he kept asking me, but were you born here? No, I was born there. And what I'm telling you is something that actually happened to me.
Well, that's called cognitive dissonance. Like when you believe something and then you're confronted with evidence on the contrary, that really, it's almost like it's like puts you in a state of pain, almost like a mental pain. Like, but no, like I know this to be true, and you're telling me it's not true. Like, it's.
Are you sure? I think
it's
you're
not
confusing the
processing.
country.
Yeah, but that's a real thing, cognitive dissonance, and that happens to a lot of people. That's why people are resistant to hearing new facts that contradict what they already believe.
Yeah,
that's a very human thing, and not just it's not one side does it. Everybody does it. It's not a side thing. It's a human being thing.
I understand, and it's complicated when. It's something to do with politics, because then you have this idea that we had talked about this. I believe in social services, but we have to do it the right way. Is it going to happen the right way? That's my question. That's when I question things. But I do want social services.
Yeah.
I'm not a crazy person. Of course I want social services. Now, socialism is something that is different for me.
Big leap.
That we have to talk about it differently. You know what I mean? And that's what people don't have clear.
Well, there's
and
nuance.
when they used Cuba as an example, is when I know
they don't know what you're talking about.
They are completely lost.
That's usually the point in the conversation when I'm like, oh, okay, you're not a serious person about this.
In the comments I see, I remember when all this Patria Vida movement was coming up, Camila Cabello made a video explaining what was happening in Cuba.
Shout out to Camila Cabello, a friend of the pod. We know her personally.
She is amazing. I love her. And I love her
I'm
because
just kidding. We really don't know her.
I love her because she took the time to explain the best she could. And she did an amazing job, in my book, explaining, because she was going on about Patria Vida, but not really saying what was happening, right? So she took the time to explain the situation in Cuba and what was actually happening with that movement. And she did an amazing job explaining it. There was the comments I was reading. I never make comments and I never reply to people or anything like that because I don't like that. It's stupid. It's just shooting it in the air. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not going to change anybody's mind. But I took the time to read these comments and my mind was blown with the level of stupidity. People were repeating and saying stupid shit and debating her. Mind you, her family's Cuban and Mexican. So you have someone that have her dad went through this. She's explaining exactly what happened to her family, but you know more.
Yeah.
You that were born here and no shit, you have never visited Cuba and you know more than her. Doesn't something ring up in your head saying maybe she knows things I don't know?
Yeah.
That level of stupidity like really upsets me.
Well, generally, I feel like a lot of times people that leave negative comments on social media aren't exactly in like the upper echelons of IQ levels. You know what I mean?
But what they were arguing, they seem like they would, if I don't know anything, I will tell you, oh, he's so smart.
It sounds like they're using big words.
Exactly. It sounds smart, but they're so stupid.
Yeah.
I will never come to you and tell you, no, what you're telling me that your mom went through is wrong, because they do have free healthcare. And the medicine and the doctors and the hospital are the best. So your mom is wrong and you are wrong. Yeah. Really?
Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah.
I cannot. I can't.
But again, you're dealing with people online.
That's why I hate social media.
You're not dealing with sophisticated people here.
That's why I pass through it and I don't read comments.
You're better off.
I don't know why I stopped and was reading the comments.
Because it was a subject that was near to your heart.
And I thought people would support that because it's Camila Cabello. She's so well liked that I thought there was going to be a lot of support there. And I wanted to read support messages. You know, I was going in with a hopeful heart. Like, oh my God, this is an amazing insight into Cuba. Now a lot of people are going to learn from this. But you cannot teach when they don't want to listen.
Well, I feel like
that broke my heart.
There's very few people like out there in the world and media and stuff that talk about, when it comes to specifically Cuba, that speak about Cuba, with knowledge and with nuance. Because there's plenty of people, especially Cubans, who are going to say, Canel Diaz, was that the president's name? Canel Diaz Singao. Diaz Canel, there we go.
Diaz Canel, what?
Singao.
You know it.
I know. Che Guevara, asesino.
Exactly.
Like, they're going to be very passionate and very heartfelt, but they're not going to be able to speak about the thing in nuance because they lived through something that's traumatic, and it's hard to have nuance when something is very emotional for you. So it's hard to find people that are involved enough to know, but removed enough to be able to speak about it.
But Camila was doing such an amazing job.
I agree, but I'm saying there's not many of those people.
I know.
So it's hard for that message to really get out and resonate with people.
But I was so excited.
Yeah, I know.
Such a bummer.
Shout out to Billy Corbin, director of Cocaine Cowboys. Yeah. Like, very, very smart about the issue. And I felt like he really speaks about it intelligently and fairly. like where he's.
But you know who did a good job too explaining it? That
I
brought tears.
and this is something that. Go ahead, say it. Yeah.
What? Say it.
Well, I was Marco Rubio.
Yep.
So, and I have a lot of problems with Marco Rubio as a politician, but
he did.
This is one of those things where I feel like he was being honest and truthful and being reasoned with what he was saying. So it's kind of like I don't like him on 99 out of 100 other things, but I happen to agree with him on this thing.
It's so strange for me because when I left Cuba, I left and I didn't know that this issue was going to hurt me so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I felt so many emotions. It made me really emotional. I was sad for the people that are left there. With what I was seeing, it really touched me. Because no matter how many years have passed, you feel such a strong connection with your homeland that I cannot put it into words. I cannot express what Cuba means to me. But it means so much that I don't even know how to explain it. You know? I feel so much for the people that are left there, that they have no hope. And I cannot do anything about it. That I don't know. I thought that maybe because it's been a long time, it's been 20 years, it really caught me off guard that I was going to be so emotional about this, you know? It's like you escape and you feel like this is over. I'm done and that's it. But
and all of a sudden it just comes rushing back.
Yeah, and you love your island. And I wish I could go back someday, you know? And it's sad. It's really sad.
Well, I guess as
and to have someone come at you and tell you, you have it so well there.
Some fucking half a momo who heard something on Democracy Now! Is going to tell you, oh no, what you experience is not true because Amy Goodman told me that you know, that Fidel Castro wasn't actually a bad guy.
Exactly. Or have someone here and tell me socialism is what we need here. Fuck this. Socialism is what we need. Bernie Sanders what we need.
Well,
and when we have him telling me that Cuba's an example, or that it wasn't Fidel Castro, what he did wasn't not all bad, having him tell me that, and having people voting for him and telling me, cry me a river, you didn't have it that bad. Fidel wasn't all that bad, and he didn't do everything all bad. That's a slap in the face.
But that.
Ay, Dios mío. Why do you get me on these topics? Let's move on because I'm getting so upset.
All right, well, let's go on to a little bit of a little glimmer of good news when it comes to talking about Cubans.
Why you do this to me?
You started it by calling everybody communist. So don't look at me.
Oh my God.
Again, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I'm so crazy.
So you familiar with the name Rogel Aguilera Mederos?
Sí, Rogel Aguilera Mederos.
He was
our Cuban trucker.
We spoke about him several weeks ago on the pod. He was a trucker, a guy 24 years old, I believe, Cuban immigrant.
Yeah.
He's originally from Cuba or just of Cuban descent?
No.
He was from Cuba.
He left Cuba 3 years ago.
Gotcha.
3 years before the accident or something.
Truck driver in Colorado caused a huge accident, resulted in several people dying. He was found guilty on all these 27 different counts, and they sentenced him to 110 years in prison. We spoke about before, which was just based on the amount of charges and the mandatory minimums all combined. And the judge spoke, saying that it was up to him. It was up to his discretion. He wouldn't have charged 110 years, which seemed crazy, but he was bound by Colorado state law to do that. The Colorado governor just recently came out and, with the power that he has as governor, he reduced his sentence to 10 years.
So
he took 100 years off, which there was millions of people were speaking out about this.
Even Kim Kardashian.
I was took up the
happy.
issue. Even all these truckers were all joining together and saying they were going to boycott anything going through Colorado because they said this was so unfair. So there was a big outcry about this because it was such a obviously no one's saying that the guy should get off.
That's what I was gonna say. Again, we knew he had to do some time because it was an accident, but it cost 4 lives. And we cannot just move past that.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But 110 years.
Yeah, like that's insane.
It's so unfair.
So, yeah, the governor came out and he reduced the sentence. So he took off 100 years. So now that's 10 years.
Who's the governor?
I believe his name is Jared Polis.
I think he felt the pressure. Definitely felt the pressure. And I'm so happy he did something about it.
Hey, when Kim K comes knocking, you better answer.
Yep. Yeah, I think she made the difference. Let me tell you. And I think that's something to be thankful for.
Mm-hmm. It's weird, though. It's you know what I mean? Like, given this issue, this is one of those things where it's like nuance. Where it's weird to be cheering for someone who basically was responsible for the deaths of several people.
But that's the thing.
But that's the nuance. We're not actually cheering for this guy to get off.
What I was
We're saying that sentence was extremely unjust, and
we are all for justice.
Of course, we're for justice. That wasn't justice, though.
Exactly.
That's what we were saying.
That's why we were upset.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the governor came out and actually did something. He took those years off, which is...
And to me, that's called justice.
It's nice.
And I appreciate that.
It's nice to feel like you took up a cause and it worked out. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Kim feels very happy inside.
It was just a crazy case, though.
Yeah.
And at the time when we spoke about it, like, there wasn't much news about it.
I told you, and you were saying, "Oh, there has to be something more. There has to be something more."
Well, eventually, people caught on.
But I was telling you, this is so unfair, and you were not believing me. You
well,
said,
no, I was
maybe
saying...
we're missing something. No, you were hesitant. You were saying, maybe we're missing something because why not? Why is this not in the news? Why is this... We had to be missing something because how the jury found him guilty? How can they prove all of this? And I said, that's why it's called an injustice. That's why it's not fair. And you were very hesitant to that.
Hang on. It still hasn't been explained to me why they were able to get a conviction on homicide charges.
What did we talk about?
You said they were racist.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't believe that.
Well,
right?
I'm just saying I haven't seen evidence to support that.
A ver, baby. What's the evidence? You're going to find someone in the jury saying, you know what? I gave him 110 years, so I found him guilty because I don't like the guy. I don't like Cubans. I don't like immigrants. I don't like weird, not white people. That's your evidence? Well, you're not going to find someone saying that.
You'd be surprised how often you could find evidence of that.
No.
No?
Not jury. You're going to find someone in the jury.
Well, I'm
like
saying
that?
some of those people
they wouldn't have been chosen to be. They wouldn't have been chosen.
So you're saying no racists ever get chosen on a jury?
Not on purpose. How can you find evidence of that, baby? There's not a lot of people that are open about the way they feel about red skin, tan skin, weird skin, old skin.
Here's where I'm going to push back hard. As a mostly white dude who's lived his life as a whole white dude, I'm a bald guy with a beard. People see
You're
me.
You're not that white.
But hang on. But listen, to the world
Remember, I am gringa.
Yeah,
and you don't look gringo enough.
Our waiter said you look more gringo than the rest of the table, which is amazing.
Not the rest of the table. Drew, to be specific.
Yeah. Shout out to Drew and Allison, who are the whitest people I know.
I know.
No, but my point is,
surprised.
But here's something I've always been very aware of. When people see you as part of their own group, they let their guard down and they say things they think that you're going to be okay with. So you know how many times I've been around people that say racist shit and then get surprised when I push back? I'm like, what the fuck is that about? Like, that's the way you talk? Like, what makes you think that I'm going to go along with that? And people are like, whoa, what's the big deal? What are you making a big deal out of?
You don't know my wife.
But that's what happens. People, when they think that they're safe around you.
Yeah, that's true.
They let their guard down.
But
and
you're
they'll
not
let you know.
friends with anybody in the jury.
No, but I'm not friends. I'm saying people will let you know. All you got to do is give them a chance.
Okay. But there's no way you can prove that.
Obviously, no, not with that. And I don't know those people.
That's what I'm saying. You're neither going to find proof. This is just an assumption.
But that's my point. That's
why would they be so unfair with this guy? There has to be something that makes them be so unfair.
Maybe the prosecutor that convicted him was really good. I don't know. Maybe they were good at making their case.
This is what it's annoying sometimes. Because, okay, never mind. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you say, oh, that was racist or that was this. You can call it out. Mm-hmm. With this case, you wouldn't. couldn't find a reason, but you couldn't think that it could be racist.
Well, my problem is that like there's just not a lot of information, so I don't want to jump to conclusions.
But I gave you
Like it's not one of those
you know
things
that
where they
in
was
the
like they
news-
showed the whole trial on
I
like
get
TV
it.
and stuff like that, you know.
Obviously, and I'm pretty sure if they were able to do that, they wouldn't have put him with 110 years, right? But
Or they might have, and
that
it,
stays
the
there.
outcry would have been much quicker.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that I forgot what I was gonna say.
My points were just too good. You got nothing to come back at me.
God, I'm so cray. There's something wrong in my head. I'm crazy. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, no. Let me.
There's
try
a lot of
to
disappointed
regroup.
people out there in their
Regroup.
cars right now. It's like, come on, Betty.
What
Don't
were
leave
you
us
gonna
hanging.
say? Ay, that's so annoying. Oh no! In the news, they were comparing different cases.
Yes.
What does that tell you?
Well, that was one of the things, but that stuff wasn't.
What does it
Out.
make you feel? What do you think? What other thing can we think? Because I'm trying to come up with ideas of why this happened. And that's the only thing that comes to mind. What would come to your head? Tell me
Well,
another
I
thing.
don't know.
When you have this example of a white person that killed, he was drunk driving and he killed someone, just one person. And he was like, what, probation, something like that?
Yeah, he got off without jail time, I believe.
Yes. So that doesn't tell you anything.
Well, no.
You're being unfair now. I'm just kidding. But doesn't make you think like this could be racist.
Well, here's what I'm saying.
Racism.
As time
I don't
went
like
by,
to use that word just for nothing. Let me just make that clear.
okay.
I don't feel discriminated. You know that I've never come to you with I felt discriminated or not included. I don't feel that. It's really hard for me to feel like someone is pushing me to a corner. You can attest to that, right?
Yeah, no,
I don't
you
come
don't
whining
just
about
use that word willy-nilly.
Thank you. That was all I wanted to say.
I know. I don't like using that word unless I can back it up with something, because that's one of those things where like you get painted with that, especially like for me, if somebody's going to go out there on like online and say I'm this big racist, like number one, even if you can defend against it, even if you was like this, that's not even remotely
But
true.
this is me talking to you.
I know, but listen, what I'm saying is this is why I feel the way I do about it. Like that's a hard thing to come back from, because once people get that in your head, that's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, he's a rapist, that guy. It's like, well, I never raped anybody. It's like, yeah, but now we said the word. Now that's the first thing people are going to think about when they think about you. Like that's the thing that happens, where once you get painted with that label, it's really hard to.
No, I'm not painting anybody with a label
I
because I don't
know.
even know the faces.
But I'm explaining to you, this is why I react the way I do. Because
You're not okay, but you're not being fair. You need to be, just because you don't like the word or because you don't want to say it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You have to be able to see things with an open mind, and
Okay.
this could be an example of discrimination.
But the problem with
this
the
could be
sentencing,
one of the reasons why they sentenced him like that, or why they were not fair to him. You have to not just shut it down. It could be a possibility, because racist people are out there for
100%.
real. So you have to
I've seen
keep
plenty
that,
of them.
Exactly. So just because of that, you should keep that as an option.
I know, and I'm not
We're
saying.
not calling the judge, you are racist. I don't even know who the judge is, and I don't know who made the call, and I don't know how many people were in the jury that were in favor of this sentencing. I don't know, but this is something that crossed my mind. It could have been that they were discriminating him. It could be that they didn't like him because of what he did. Let me tell you, the pictures looked very, very raw,
didn't look
very
good.
horrible, and they had all these feelings like, you just came here the other day and look what you caused. It's an accumulation of things. But definitely, I thought that racist was involved in there. Somehow, some way. It's a very white state.
Yeah, Colorado, it's very white.
That's why I'm thinking.
Well,
Just tell me that it could be a possibility.
100% it could be a possibility.
Thank you.
I'm
I
just
can
looking,
sleep tonight.
I'm just looking for the evidence, that's all. I'm not ruling it out.
I don't think you're gonna get the evidence, but I'm happy that you're open to that.
I'm always open, and I'm not trying to shut down any.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have to back up my people.
Baby.
Okay. We need to save them. I'm just kidding. We need to be fair. That's all I wanted. And the justice system should be fair.
Yes, and I think that
it's not all the time, but any time that we can speak up and make it fair for people, we should be doing it.
There's a lot of times that it's very
unfair,
horrifically unfair.
And there's a lot of people behind bars that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, shout out to the Innocence Project, by the way.
They're doing an amazing job.
They do amazing things. And, recommendation, this is not time for Dama La Luz, but anybody, if you like true crime podcasts, you should check out this podcast called In the Dark. And it's basically about, there's still the 2 seasons I'm aware of, and it kind of just talks about how police and like investigators have just completely bumbled and like fumbled these cases. In the first season, it was about a kid who went missing, and they just time and time again, they kept stepping on their own dicks and just fucked up this case so bad. And then finally it was like, the evidence was so clear by the end that like they couldn't even screw it up anymore. Like it was like the guy basically like might as well have turned himself in. The second season was about a guy who was wrongfully convicted of a murder.
Oh my God!
Multiple homicide.
That's really big.
And he spent decades in prison. And
you don't get that back.
The guy kept getting acquitted on appeals, and the prosecutor kept retrying the case. It was like 6 times. And then he was using like a jailhouse snitch basically as his star witness.
What happens with these cases? He's proven that this was all wrong.
So it went back and forth on appeals.
He's not going to get this time back. Does the state pays him? Gets him? I don't know. How can he build a life now?
You definitely have a case to sue the state and whoever district, I guess, is prosecuting you for wrongful conviction.
Because this one should give him a lot of money.
In the case of this one that I'm talking about, this guy's name was Curtis Flowers.
Least they can do.
And this case went all the way to the Supreme Court just as recently as a year or 2 ago. And the Supreme Court justices, even like the conservative justices, Brett Kavanaugh like chewed this guy out, this prosecutor that kept retrying this case with bullshit evidence and like coerced statements from witnesses and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Like it was fucked up.
That's horrible.
So, but the guy Curtis Flowers, they let him out. Like it was a
sad
big.
Is that?
It was a
How
big issue.
Sad is
you should
that?
listen to the podcast called In the Dark.
But isn't it Kim Kardashian doing something like that?
She's
helping
she's
innocent
been big
people
with
behind
like criminal justice reform. Like she's trying to help people.
I think she had helped a lot of people already. A couple.
Well, I mean,
right?
Again, like she's been good at bringing attention to the things. Like there's other people behind the
no,
scenes
of
that
course,
are really
she's not. Yeah, and she's
excuse
just
me, doing the heavy lifting. Yeah, but
yeah.
the fact that she's able to bring attention to these cases is
That's
a huge
all
thing in
they
itself.
They need someone to listen to them, and she's doing that.
So as much as I would make fun of Kim Kardashian,
she's doing
you got to
a
give her
good
respect for trying to do a good thing here.
No, 100%.
All right, what do you say we move into some topics, baby? Because we have a main topic this week.
Go for it.
This one is a little more fun. Let's lighten up the episode a little bit.
Yes, we went
like
dark.
It's getting a little grim.
Yeah, I cry and everything. You know what you do to me. Why?
Okay, so it's a fun one. I think you guys at home and your listeners and viewers, you're going to like this one.
We're going to get you thinking and wishing
and
dreaming.
Here, you ready?
Yeah, go.
If you no longer had to work to live comfortably.
I have friends that they don't have to
If you
work.
no longer had to work to live comfortably, what would you do with your life?
I have friends that don't have to work.
Okay.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who they are.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
It's always you go, girl.
Right.
Never you go, boy.
You go, girl. We're
listen,
successful. What can I tell you? We're successful.
If you got it, use it.
What would I do if I don't have to work? Okay. Honestly, I've thought about this so many times because I have thought of winning the lotto so many times.
It's a fun thing to spend your time thinking about.
I always think like, okay, if I win, I will help this, I will do this, blah, blah, blah. I know who I will share it with. I have a big list.
So first of all, like,
but
lead me into
about that.
Paint the picture. How are you living? Like, what is it that allows you to live this life? Like, how are you coming into this money? Did I suddenly
won the lotto.
You won the lottery?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. A lot of millions of dollars. I don't have to work.
Winning the lottery is a one-time thing. So that money.
But I'm talking about millions and millions and millions that you don't ever have to work, and your kids are not gonna have to.
Okay, so hypothetically, let's say you won the lottery and then you made a couple smart investments, and now you're set for life.
What your question is? If I didn't have to work,
I know, but I want you to paint the picture.
Stop it.
Make me there.
Take
me there. Take me on the ride with
So
you.
what I would want to do, let's say I have millions of dollars. I don't have to worry about money and I don't have to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to. I always thought about this. I said, I'm going to do community service. I
Okay.
want to invest my time helping others. I want to, I don't know, see where I'm useful. And I don't know, in a shelter, in a hospital, wherever they need me, I want to do something meaningful
Mm-hmm.
that I can share, if I have the money to share, of course, but also giving my time, physically helping someone.
Mm-hmm.
If I can touch people's life, if I can do something to help them, I would love to do that. I would love to travel. I would love to go around the world. And I have a list of places I would love to go.
But like what? So I like the community service, the volunteering your time thing. Because the question, I think, let me put a finer point on it, is what would you do to give you a sense of purpose if you didn't have to work? Because a lot of people find purpose in their job. That's just...
No, I would like to give my time.
Yeah.
I would like to go to shelters and work with people that need the help, the guidance. Like, what do I do? I'm lost. How do I get a home? How do I get out of this shelter? Maybe working with those people to go through there's a lot of people that are stuck because they don't know the process. You know what I mean? Just going through the process. Because I worked in a real estate office, I know there's a lot of people that have Section 8, but they don't know how to get those places. There's a waiting list in a bunch of them, and they're not even in the waiting list because they don't know how to get there. There's a lot of people that need to be in Section 8 and they don't know how to apply for the process, go through the process. So I would love to work with a shelter and help them get these people places to live or work, help them find jobs. Sometimes they don't have the clothing to go to an interview and they're not given the chance for the job. I will work with them. I will groom them. I don't know, get them the clothes for them to go and take that first step and get the job. You know what I mean? And then once they have the job, get them a place to live. I don't know. I love to help people get on their feet.
I like that. I like that thought because one of the things, like, if you're talking about ways to give back, like when I thought about the question, I was like, I would like to be some kind of mentor. Like, you know, like young guys, maybe you don't have a dad or something, or, you know.
And they need that.
Yeah, like I like the
Someone
idea
to
of like
walk
the whole,
with them through the process.
like the big bro or the uncle, like the cool uncle is trying to help out. Like I like that feeling. It makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good to be able to help someone and see, like, really see the difference you can make in another person's life that needs it. Like I like that.
I've always thought about that, and I thought of becoming a social worker, but I'm so limited in resources that I feel like it will destroy me because being there, not being able to help, that kills me.
Do you know that when in high school, you know, when you talk to your guidance counselor to tell you what job you'd be, that was my number one thing. They said based on my personality, like what I would be best at.
I think you do great. So I would love to do something like that, to invest my time doing that and having the resources to help them.
Well, that's the hard part is that, you know, you still want to do these things right now, but
how am I going to help them?
Yeah, I got to make ends meet here.
But it would be an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So,
and I don't know. Also, I love St. Jude Hospital. They work with kids with cancer, and they don't charge the families a penny. There's even family that come from different countries and they do everything for them. And they even find places for the parents to stay while they're going through the treatment. They don't charge them a penny. So I would love to help that hospital. Not only if I could just donate a bunch of money to them, but I also would love to be there and help these kids. I don't know, make their dreams come true. If they want to go to Disney World, take them. Just like Make-A-Wish Foundation, but actually me doing that for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking them places. I don't know. It will be sad. I'm hoping everybody gets cured. But I would love to do that. I would love to invest my time helping others.
It's very Mackenzie Scott of you.
What is that?
It was Jeff Bezos' ex-wife who, when they split up, she had billions, and they said, I just read a thing recently, she's given away more money faster than anyone in history has, just donating to charities and good causes and stuff like that.
I would love to go in Africa. There's a lot of countries in Africa that kids need a lot of help, and they need a lot of things. Not only the emotional support, but they need actual things.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to go there and invest my time and help them and make it better for them. Not only that, I'm going really far
you're
in Africa.
Going far out there. Like there's kids,
Kids in Brazil
less than an hour away that need help.
I know. In Somerville, there's kids that need help. There are kids that need help in Brazil. There are kids that need help in Cuba. But in Cuba, it's so challenging to get them the help. You know what I mean? That's another world.
There's too much interference from the government to really make a difference.
But I
with
would
people.
love to go different places, not only in the States. I would love to go to all those places and help.
So that's what, like...
I wish I could do it so bad. You have no idea.
But that would be like your life's mission then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
And I will take my kids with me.
I feel bad.
I feel like they will learn so much for all of this experience, and I feel they will be better human beings if they go through the process of helping people. They will develop that love for helping and seeing, and the sympathy and empathy to other people. You know what I mean? I think it will be amazing. They can do what do you call that? When in Spanish they call it dirigido. That you could go to school, not in person, but you can study through like virtual school.
Okay.
Homeschooling. I will do homeschooling for them and will take them with all these missions with me. If there will come a time that they will say, Mom, this is not for me. I want to stop doing this. I want a life or whatever. That will be fine.
Yeah, it get weird.
But now that they're little,
homeschooled kids tend to be a little off sometimes.
If they're doing what we're doing and mingling with other people, mingling with society, believe me, they're going to learn so much more for that than being in a classroom. I would love to take them with us and do all these good things around the world.
You know what ideally I would do if I didn't have to work to live anymore? I would want to, because
you cannot come up with a better idea than me. Okay?
Well, no, it's I mean, like, first of all, like the podcast, like I love doing this. Like this I really like. I find that I have a passion for it.
You can actually build a
that's what
really,
I want to do.
really good
I like the idea of having this and this being a way to reach people and help people. Because we'll have people reach out to us that needed help, and we will help those people. That's what I would like to do. Because
we can do the podcast on the road. Sorry, I got excited.
We could do that too.
Continue.
We could build a mobile studio out of it.
We help
buy an
people,
RV
but
or
we
something.
continue the podcast.
Yeah, but that's what I would like to do because I love podcasting and I want to get better at it and I want to grow the show. But that would be like a perfect marriage of, following your own passion and finding a way to give back in the process. You know what I mean? Like that would be cool. That's what I would like to do. Because again, like I said, I love this whole process, and I know like we're not huge. Like this is not the Joe Rogan experience, but like I would like to find a way to grow this and be able to actually really tangibly help people.
I know, right?
Because that was one of the things I started the other one for, with A Pot Amongst Men. Like the idea was to help guys who needed help, and to let people know they're not alone. So this is a little more on the fun side, and it's definitely, I feel like it's good for you and me. But again, it's the same thing. Like if people are listening and realizing, hey, I went through the same thing. Like it's not just me. That's awesome. I feel better about it. I feel relieved that now I'm not weird for dealing with that. Yeah. I love knowing that was able to help someone. Just us talking, we're bullshitting here. You know what I mean? We're just hanging out.
But I like it. It's like
I love it.
I've always said it. It's like therapy.
Yeah.
It's a good moment for us to connect. And I don't know. I like it. I really like it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. But that's, I don't know. I guess I thought that this question was going to go a little more like, so what would you spend your money on? Like,
I'm very deep, baby. I'm sorry.
I know. You're very deep, baby.
I have a list of people that I would share my money with. I always told you. That's Alexa.
Oh, you're the Alexa on the desk went off. That's weird.
I think I have a list of people, friends, family that I will share it with. I will share with everybody.
Well, that's the thing too. I know you're the type to spread it around.
So, you know what I would do? if I got this idea from Minnie. If I win the lottery, we will do half and half. Half for you, half for me. I will do with my half whatever I wanted. You can do with your half whatever you want. And then you share your half with whomever you need and want. And I'll share my half with all my peeps because I have way more people than you.
Yeah, it's true.
And my list is long, long, long.
I would want to. I wouldn't want to move into like some giant house. Like maybe get a bigger house.
That's not in my plans either. I don't need a.
Yeah, I would like to live in a way where, like, if we knew there was never any money coming in again, that we would still be set.
Absolutely.
That's people make the mistake when they come into all this money. They buy all this extravagant shit, and next thing you know,
you cannot even sustain it.
Yeah, the money stops, and now you're fucked.
The taxes and the maintenance of the house is too much.
I bought this house cash. Oh, congratulations! What
How
about the taxes?
How are you gonna maintain it?
Huh? What?
And
taxes?
the gardens, the pools, the tennis court, the basketball, the studio. How are you going to maintain the koi pond? What are you going to do with the fishes?
Having an entourage is expensive.
I would not have any of that.
Yeah, no, that's the people screw up and they get themselves in a hole like that.
The 300 cars you own, what are you going to do with them?
I don't care
collection.
about cars. I wouldn't blow money on cars.
I just need a car we all fit and we can hit the road, Jack. Yeah.
I would hire a driver. That would be what I would do.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
I like you driving. I don't want a driver. I want you driving. More personal.
You want to put me to work still?
That's true. Okay, you can have a driver. But that feels so, so arrogant. A driver.
Listen.
No. I don't like that.
You got to treat yourself a little bit.
No. Where's your communist love? You cannot have a driver. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. No, but driver feels like so not personal. Like puts you like in a different level. It's not a different level. I don't know. I feel like when you have a driver, you feel like you're better than them. I don't know.
Yeah, you think so?
I feel it weird. I feel weird about it.
Well, it's like
I have a chauffeur.
But that's also that's a job to be a professional driver like that. Like
that is true.
That's also you're entering into that. It's not like somebody's being forced to drive you around.
No, not only that. There's people that get really close to their drivers, and there's like family, like having an Uber driver.
Think of it like this way: when you go to the spa to get a massage, do you feel like you're better than the masseuse?
No, I feel they're better than me. They know all these things. I wish I knew.
Why would you feel that way when you're hiring someone to drive the car for you?
I don't know. It makes me feel like they're my servant.
But why is that different than the other thing?
I don't know. It's so weird. It's me. I'm weird. This is me. But that's why I like to talk about these things, because you're right. It's a job. It's a well-paid job. Why not? And there's people that have a chauffeur, and it's like family to them. They take them to trips. They spoil them with gifts. They bring they really love them as family. So I think if we have a chauffeur, I will be like that. Like they will be close to my heart, and they will be treated like family, and they will go in and have dinner in our table, and no separation, like dinner at the kitchen and not at the, that wouldn't fly with me.
Yeah.
We're having dinner at the same table.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah. I definitely like to go on trips, though. And make a real fancy studio, really grow the podcast, and try to help that way. That would be awesome. That's what I would do with all that money.
Well, I'm playing the lotto every week.
Good.
Hopefully we win.
Good.
And if we win, we'll share. Don't worry, we'll share. If we're millionaires, we will share.
We're not going to tell you if we win.
We are going to tell you. And we're going to share with you.
We're going to share with the people that matter. We don't want every Tom, Dick, and Sally. Tom, Dick, and Harry. Is that what it is? We don't want every jerk off come knocking on the door asking for an envelope.
Stop it. We have 120 followers. We can share with all of them.
Do you know all of them?
I don't care if I know.
Because you're gonna back us into a corner right now.
No, I don't care. If I win millions, I will share with the 120 followers. Okay. You send me your cash app, I will share with you. Wow. I don't have a problem with sharing.
You heard it here.
Yeah, baby, we're winning. Why are we not gonna share with everybody?
Hey, it's your world, baby. Honestly, I'm just living in it.
I would honestly share it.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, baby. What do you say you dame la luz?
No, you start.
You want me to start?
Yeah. Dame la luz, baby.
Okay, so Dame La Luz. This week, I'm going to shout out something that I'm pretty sure I've already shouted out before, but I'm going to shout out again. Three Ninjas Podcast.
You have? Yes.
Yeah, my friends over there, Three Ninjas Podcast. You guys listening, a lot of you already know them, are familiar with them, part of the dojo. Listen, sometimes like you meet some people like you, or maybe you see something that's not like the biggest thing in the world, but you really want to share it with everybody, and you want to, because for instance, with this podcast, I found randomly on Instagram.
Okay.
I became a big fan. I got to meet the guys. They were very cool, very nice to me. They gave gifts to our friggin' kids, for Christ's sake.
I know. I really like them. All of them.
I really like them, and I want to help promote them as much as I can and help bring them towards success, because I think they're good at what they do, and you're not looking at me, and it's distracting me.
It's trying to look my Dame La Luz, man.
No, but seriously though,
continue. I'm looking at you.
Like they're not huge yet. Like they have a they have a great fan base, and they have some people that are really dedicated to them, and that's a huge thing. But I want to see them grow. I want to see them have success. I want to see them be able to do what they do full time.
They're pretty successful.
Yeah, but I'm saying like.
Oh, you mean like living off of that?
Exactly.
Like Joe Rogan.
They still have jobs.
Making millions.
Exactly. I want to see them blow up.
Absolutely.
Like I want to see them have all the success in the world, because they
will.
Yeah, they have a recipe for something really good. I think what they have is not something that's easily reproduced. So, and I think
they're getting there.
I want to show them as much love as I can, because I like those guys, and
I'm right there with you.
That's what I'm saying. So
let's do it.
It's a niche they have that I think is very good. It's especially if you're into nerd stuff. Whether it's movies or comics or anime or video games. As me, I like all that stuff, and I like the flavor that they bring to it.
Okay.
So I want to shout out Three Ninjas Podcast, at Three Ninjas Podcast on Instagram, threeninjaspodcast.com. It's very easy to find. You'll find them. They're very entertaining dudes, and I like them very much as people. That's awesome. It. Shout out to Dom, shout out to Hesh, shout out to Bobby.
Shout out, guys.
And shout out to G Studio, because that's where they record.
Awesome. I like that.
Yeah. Connecticut. They're the only good things that come out of Connecticut.
Oh my God!
I have a grudge against Connecticut.
Why?
But I do like them.
Why? What did Connecticut do to you?
It never really made it as a state. It was a shitty state. I have a problem with it. I'm sorry, guys, but it is.
Why?
But those guys are cool, and that should tell you how much I love them. That I would overlook my grudge against Connecticut.
That's very weird.
I know,
but it's okay.
All right, baby, it's your turn. Dame La Luz.
Dame La Luz. I don't know. I don't have anything this
You got
week.
something.
No, I don't.
Been watching any good shows lately?
Good shows. No.
What have we been watching every night?
Seinfeld?
Yeah.
That's old. People
Doesn't
are going to say you got old. Well, okay.
Not everybody's watched it.
I've never watched Seinfeld before. I have to say that I don't like the guy, because I went backwards. I knew Seinfeld before from interviews. I've never watched the show. So what I got from the interviews, this big arrogant guy that I didn't like. It was like, wow, this is such an asshole. His attitude, I hated it.
Yeah, he comes off like that.
And that's why I've never took the time to watch any Seinfeld show. Until you were watching it on TV, and I was watching an episode, and I said, oh, this is pretty fun. And now I'm hooked. I really like the show, and I like him in the show. In the show, I think he has a nice personality. He's funny. I love him in the show. So it's really contradicting and sad to know that he's not like that in real life. Yeah, well,
wait till we get into Kramer in real life.
I love Elaine. I love Kramer. He's crazy, but I like his crazy. And it's a good show. George is funny. I like the show, and it's something that that's a new tradition. Every night we go in bed and we watch Seinfeld, and it's something that Tyler loves, and he always looks forward to that. He said, it's bedtime, it's Seinfeld, let's watch it. Can we watch the episode? And that's what we do together, and I think it's such a nice family thing to do every night before going to bed. Of course, we do it early because we have to work and we have school, and that's why we go to bed early, but we love watching it before going to bed.
Yeah, it's nice. I used to watch it with my mom and dad.
It's a nice tradition. I have to say I look forward every day to that, and we end the day on a good note.
Definitely.
Funny, laughing. Sometimes Tyler falls asleep, to not say most of the time. But he makes it to one episode every night.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right.
I love you, baby.
I love you more. That's it for this week. You guys, make sure, if you're just listening, make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Make sure you show some love, some likes, some comments.
I should be saying this for every episode. And I assume you either know us, or if you're listening, you found us somehow randomly. Congratulations. I'm not sure exactly how that would be if you're not following us on Instagram, but make sure you follow the Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. If you're listening, even if you just listen, like on Spotify or iTunes or something like that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps. We want to build that up as much as possible.
Watch podcast.
People can watch. Well, some people prefer to watch.
I don't like watching. I like hearing.
Yeah, I like to listen too, but some people like to watch.
Okay.
Some people listen through YouTube. Yeah, so make sure, help us out, show us some love, give us a good rating on Apple Podcasts if you're listening through that.
Please, compliment my accent. Say, oh, she has such a nice accent. I really hate my accent, but...
Oh, I love it so much. She reminds me of Sophia. Well.
That hurt. Okay, that's all, folks.
That's it. I love you, baby.
Love you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace.